Tonight, and would ask if you could please silence or turn off your cell phones, and would like to also remind everyone that our meetings are televised every day on Channel 2 at 6 p.m. and midnight, and also available for viewing on YouTube. And we'll go ahead and start off our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right, we're going to kick it off with some proclamations here. Okay, as I call these out, please feel free to come on up. If you'd like to share some words after I get done talking, that'd be great. So the Suicide Prevention Month, in honor of Darius Jamal Williams. All right. Whereas Suicide Prevention Month was established in the United States in 1975 by the American Association of Suicidology, corresponding to World Suicide Prevention Day, recognized annually on September 10th, and whereas the act of suicide is prominently mentioned in ancient legend and history dating back to the 1700s, it was not until the 1950s that the United States started suicide prevention activities. Almost 800,000 people die each year due to suicide, one death every 40 seconds, and whereas National Suicide Prevention Month is a campaign observed to educate and inform the general public about suicide prevention and to warn about rising suicide rates, as well as reduce the stigma surrounding suicide and encourage the pursuit of mental health assistance. And whereas, in honor of Darius Jamal Williams, the city of Leavenworth raises awareness so that more people might reach out for help by calling or texting 988 if they or someone they know is in crisis. Look out for warning signs in others and make sure people feel heard and understood. And whereas Suicide Prevention Month in honor of Darius Jamal Williams is a month where Leavenworth citizens work together to prevent suicide throughout our city, county, state, and country, so that citizens feel heard, loved, and understood. Through prevention, we can build a stronger community and build generations of compassionate Leavenworth citizens. And whereas the 988 system is in place for calls and texts 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, encourage those in crisis to call or text in honor of Darius. You just may save a life. Now, therefore, I, Griff Martin, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim the month of September 2024 as Suicide Prevention Month in honor of Darius Jamal Williams.
I would just like to thank everybody for doing this for him. I really appreciate it, and I know his whole family does, and it just means a lot to me. So thank you.
I just want to, again, thank you for bringing awareness not only to the cause, but also in honor of my son, and I appreciate that.
We left some bracelets on the table back here for everyone. If you would like to take one, and we make sure the commissioners have them.
Thank you.
All right, the Leavenworth Awareness Walk. Thanks for coming up. Sir. All right. City of Leavenworth, Kansas proclamation. Whereas the Leavenworth Awareness Walk law is a beacon of remembrance and unity within our community, this annual event was established in 2018 in memory of Brother Michael Law, a devout Christian, retired soldier, community leader, and an exemplary past fraternity chapter president. Brother Michael Law served as a chapter president in our beloved fraternity. He played an instrumental role in shaping the lives of countless young individuals as a father figure and mentor, and whereas the Leavenworth Awareness Walk serves a dual purpose, one that keeps alive the memory of a man who was a tremendous advocate for local scholarships, a loving husband, a proud father, and a father figure and mentor to youth in the community, and whereas the walk also empowers our community by raising scholarship funds, providing educational opportunities, and fostering awareness about issues that matter deeply to us. The Pi Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Pi Alpha Fraternity Inc. has raised over $30,000 for deserving students. And whereas the Leavenworth Awareness Walk unites us in a collective effort to continue Brother Michael Law's mission of making a positive impact on the lives of others and strengthening the bonds within our community, now therefore I, Griff Martin, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth in Kansas, hereby recognize and commemorate the significance of the Leavenworth Awareness Walk. As a symbol of unity, hope, and empowerment, we pledge to walk together side by side in solidarity as we strive to create a brighter future for our youth through scholarships and to raise awareness of organizations and cause in our community.
Again, as members of Power Crown Land, the chapter of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, we'd just like to say thank you all. And the tradition continues on this weekend. If you would like to join us in this fundraiser at the riverfront to continue on the scholarship for Michael Law, I want to say thank you.
And also would like to acknowledge his wife, Lolita.
All right, Constitution Week. Ladies? All right. Whereas September 17th, 2024 marks the 237th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document, its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, I, Griff Martin, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim September 17th through 23rd, 2024 as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities with that privilege involves. Thanks very much. Want to say the words?
Come see the display at the Leavenworth Public Library. There is a display case. A lot of interesting things. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to old business, consideration of previous meeting minutes from August 27, 2024, regular meeting, and September 5th, 2024, special meeting. If there are no questions, just need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
And it's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, 5-0. Item 3, second consideration ordinance number 8249, rezoning certain properties at 2nd Avenue and Santa Fe Street from RMF to R16.
Mr. Mayor, Commission, this matter is before you for the second reading, second consideration. If you recall, this was city-initiated rezoning efforts to help property owners come in compliance with current regulations. There have been no comments or questions since the first reading, and it's ready to proceed.
Okay. So I remember from last time, roll call vote. I guess we'll call our names out on this if there's no other questions. Commissioner Wilson, if you could go ahead and start. State.
Commissioner Hengula. Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Pittman, aye.
Mayor Martin, aye.
Commissioner Bowder, aye.
All right. 5-0 there. New business public comment. Sarah, do we have anybody tonight?
No one signed up.
Nobody? Okay. All right, then we'll go ahead and move on to our public hearing for unsafe fire damaged structure at 3851 Tonganoxie Drive.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, our Chief Building Inspector, Al Burdette.
Just need a motion to open.
So move, open the meeting.
Sorry.
Second.
Second, all right, we can vote with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, it's open.
Chief Building Inspector, Al Burdette.
All right, hey, Al.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. As you're aware, 3851 Tonganoxie Drive is a structure that was damaged by fire back in May of this year. The city received a check from the insurance company in accordance with our ordinances because the amount of the damage exceeded a certain level. So we are here tonight to bring you up to speed on where we're at on this project. There is a representative of the contractor here. A permit was issued just today. They have begun work already. You know, they've already been doing demolition work. at the property, and I think the contractor will give you a better idea of where they're at and the time frame. But in my discussion with them last week, I asked Sarah to prepare the resolution, give them 90 days that we will bring it back to you. They may be done, we may need a little more time, but
Sure.
that's our best estimate at this time.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from anyone?
No, looks fine to me.
I see it every time I go away. I see it every time I go away from the house.
Cool deal. Well then, no other questions, we just need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'm sorry.
We need to-
That's right, that's right. Sorry, Mr. Waters.
Yeah, see if
Appreciate
there's
that. We do need to open up for public
Oh, public comment.
comment, if anybody's here. Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
I'm Lizzie Blank, Guardian with Belfour Property Restoration, we're the contractor for it. We have started demolition, we actually completed the demolition part of it as far as removal, what needed to be, started the cleaning process of it. We're scheduled to do the roofing, exterior siding and so forth on the house the week of the 30th this month. So our goal is to concentrate on the house first and then kind of circle back around for the garage part of it, just so that the homeowner will be able to move in, sooner to the home. But I anticipate, definitely be well underway in the 90-day marker, so.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Any other comments from anybody? Okay, if not, then we just need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
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 All right, 5-0 there. Item D, consider resolution B 2378 for directing a structure to be repaired or removed.
I move the commission approve resolution number B 2378, giving you 90 days to begin repairs or start the demolition process for another amount of time decided by 90 days.
Second.
All right, motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Thanks, Hal.
Thanks, Al.
All right, moving on here to mayor's appointments. I, Mayor Martin, move to appoint to the Leavenworth Main Street Board Ron Booth to a term ending August 15th, 2027.
Second.
All right, motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passed 5-0. Item 6, request for feasibility study funding Frontier Museum of the U.S. Army Foundation.
Mr. Mayor, Commission, I'd like to introduce two guests this evening, George Pettigrew and Brian Wampler, who are representing the Museum Foundation for their request.
All right. Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Mayor, Commissioners. It's a lot different from the last time I was here to face you good folks, but so proud to be back. We have moved extensively toward getting this structure as a reality for the community, understanding that what we're doing in the end, once constructed and accepted by the Army, it becomes a gift. It becomes a gift to the United States and to the United States Army. With that, it's something that comes to this community without this community having to bear any of the ongoing expenses of maintenance or any of the needs of this. This will be entirely funded by the United States Army once we have finished the project. You have received some updates. There we go. And this is an outline that you see. That shows the footprint. Now that's the actual shape of the building itself. To your right is the current parking lot at the Visitor Center, the Visitor Control Center, and that's off of Sherman Drive. And then we have, excuse me. So we're intending to incorporate that, thank you.
Thank you.
as part of the structure. So building 5 is the main building, and if you notice, there's a little spur to the top, number 6, that is for future growth. So we're already planning a phase 2. If that becomes necessary, we're prepared to do so. Interesting very much in this sketch is that item number 4 at the top is a powwow and a amphitheater combined. And we intend to do something that hasn't come to this fort in my recent memory at all. And that is to have powwows, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, and having other groups, 4-H, all of these groups that have a need for a facility, an outdoor facility that would be, that this will be covered and it will have its own supporting restrooms to take care of our visitors there. Note too, and we will go to the next slide so that you might see what it looks like. This is the western view. A few things I like to point out about this western view is that if you notice in the foreground and all around, we're not talking about lawn, which is really hard on the environment for a lot of reasons. The maintenance, the cost, the chemicals and all. We are going with what is native and natural. It adds to the ambiance of the structure itself. That structure is about 500 feet long, and if I'm correct, where we're at 89,000 square feet?
80.
82.
82. 89 with
82.
the expansion.
With the expansion, it will be 89. But so we're talking about a great structure. This is the entrance on the east end. You're walking now from the parking lot toward that entrance. We don't have total control because, first of all, this is a public-private partnership. And in that public-private partnership, we have to work with the United States Army. They have some say, we have limited say on what happens, but we will raise the funds and we will construct the building. But we have to do that in cooperation with the Army, with the Corps of Engineers, the Army
Museum Enterprise.
Yeah, Museum Enterprise, yes. These are the folks that are going to put all of the displays in. That's another thing that is going to be very unique, because even though we don't have absolute control, what we want to work with the Army and with the CGSC to do is, if they can agree, then we would have, and we do plan to have a temporary exhibit space. And in the temporary exhibit space, if we're fortunate enough, we will be able to display some of the treasures that have never been seen, that are now in CGSC, that have come over the decades, some of them priceless. But the exhibit space, the main exhibit space, will be as large, even larger than the entire museum that's on the fort right now, the Frontier Army Museum, just a display inside this, or the main gallery. Okay, that's what I have. You have anything, Brian?
The one thing I'd like to add, this is the Frontier Regional Museum, but it'll be a local area magnet. And that's what the matching grant will help us definitively be able to answer your question with the feasibility study. We look forward to partnering with all the other museums to include the upcoming, is it the Lansing Museum?
The Prison Museum?
Yes, because they may start at the Frontier Museum in the United States Army, but we're going to ensure that there are connectors to the other museums. So we're very excited. We're also very excited. The Army's an outdoor sport. We know the museum will be open 40 hours a week. The grounds will be open and available, of course managed by the Army, for significantly more hours than just the 40 hours. And we're really excited. We know that military museums are the least visited. So the architects are focusing on overcoming all those challenges. And George mentioned the powwow site. This is going to be one of the most innovative sites that people have seen. So you'll have the presentation site in the middle, and you may have been out to Council Grove or the powwow site that the state built there. it'll be very similar to that, but then there will be a ring for audiences, and then around that, there'll be a ring for vendors. So local vendors will have an opportunity to come and to support the guest there, so.
That's great.
And one of the most important features is that, as you see in that diagram, to the top of the page, that is a security fence and the security road. It will be behind this entire facility, meaning that this facility is approachable, open, and free to the public. That is an attraction, and it's one of those things not only about people not being as interested in historical or military museums. This is a museum that, instead of focusing on the fort or on the soldier, this story we would prefer to see goes from all the way from Lewis and Clark and even before, and tells the story of the West, the development of the West, and how critical and key Leavenworth was in that, the fort itself. So this is not one of those forts or fort museums. It's going to lock you into a unit, or it's going to lock you into a time period, or it's going to lock you into the fort itself as being the subject. This is the subject of the growth and the development of America, how America became the greatest nation in the world.
And if I may, we're very excited. So the United States Army Center of Military History, who determines the timeline, has made the determination the timeline begins with the Revolutionary War. So whether that's 1773, 75, they'll lock that in. But what's really great about that, the frontier, who was here in the 1773? The Native American. So we'll really be able to focus on the culture prior to the frontier. And then one last thing, so we handed out our business cards. We'd like to point out on our new logo, and you'll see the 9 stars at the top, and those 9 stars represent the 9 states of the frontier that were founded after 1863.
I really like that it's all encompassing, because so many times we've gone to museums where there's just like a submarine, or it focuses just on
Exactly.
aircraft, or, just focuses on certain areas, and you just sort of, this just is so all encompassing, I love that, and our history will be.
We like
pronounced
highlighting, and I know George mentioned this last time, this will be the only Center of Military History museum that has a rotating exhibit space. So it'll constantly be changing and pull people back. It will also have, and we're not sure what the Army's gonna call it, but a child learning center, or will they be able to come in? There may be 3D printers. There will definitely be period costumes and things they can try on. And something the Center of Military History has asked us to do is to have an equivalent site for adults, to where adults can try on period.
Where you can touch and feel, but we will not leave swords and guns out.
Come on, George, what are we doing? Let's go.
And we're just touching the tip of things. There will be a audio history, an opportunity or a room where people can come in for audio.
Good.
Also for video.
To archive.
Bring in equipment, wagons, and it's all-encompassing, and we would like to come back and show you more of the detailed plans, especially as we progress through the design phase.
I'll leave with this because it is a unique structure. One, the outside skin that you saw, that's separated from the structure itself. So it lowers maintenance, it takes care of the building's longevity, it improves everything, including the appearance. But notice too that on this one, those walkways are elevated. So even though we're not talking about lawn and a lot of consumption of water, we're talking about native grasses, what it was like before we arrived. Then we're also talking about elevating those walkways so they're safe and people can move around. And I will add, I know there are a million things we can tell you, but as far as those that are less capable, mobility-wise, instead of a normal pitch of 1 to 12 or a foot rise for every 12-foot length, we're going at a 1 to 20, which makes that much, much easier for people to be able to navigate no matter what their abilities are. Because one thing Brian and I are about in this entire structure is no matter what people's capabilities are, whether they read well or not, whether they walk well or not, then we want to make this a place that makes them comfortable and includes them as much as it does anyone. So it's not designed for the average athlete. It's designed for everyone of all ages. Are there any questions?
That's a good way to say
I
it.
have 4 questions.
Okay.
So will it, once this is open, will the current Frontier Museum with all the wagons and the Lincoln Memorial be moved into this, or will that one stay open on post?
That building is not scheduled to be demolished.
Okay,
And exactly what they're gonna do with it, there isn't a firm plan on that yet. It is up to the Center of Military History
what they want to bring up?
whether or not they will, because they have over 600,000 artifacts of all the museums, but this will be the best one.
Wow, okay.
Everything they have will move to the new museum.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, it
part
will
of
move.
it, yeah,
Oh, okay.
everything.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
that doesn't mean it'll be displayed as
No.
it is now,
Oh, okay,
but they
but it-
will possess everything.
Okay.
So the museum includes a arms room, storage area, vaults, so.
Awesome. And then, so what year are you hoping to start building this? Like, did you have?
Thank you. 2027 is the 200th anniversary of this fort. That has only been achieved 3 times, including 2027 for Leavenworth. The oldest fort west of the Missouri, only because Jefferson Barracks opened in 1826. Leavenworth opened in 1827 by the same gentleman, Leavenworth. So it is the most important to ever reach this age to become a bicentennial fort. The only one of its importance.
Yes.
And my third question is, speaking of more on the economic development lines, you said you're gonna be open 40 hours a week. Does that include Saturdays and Sundays? Because we'd want people coming in on the weekends to make kind of a weekend out of this.
The hours are up to the Army.
Okay,
And the same staff that's in the Army's museum currently will be the same staff that's in the new facility. But we're building a facility that helps them operate a larger facility without more people. So it's going to be very efficient in every way possible. But the hours will be up to them, and them, I would assume, remain the same.
and are they open Saturdays, Sundays now, or Saturdays?
I know they're closed on
Yeah.
Monday, and Sunday and Monday they're closed. They open Saturday.
Oh, okay, I just wanna make
That's
sure.
good, yeah.
We
So
want
it's
people to
Tuesday
come
through
downtown
Saturday.
and eat in our restaurants and visit the museum and
Yes.
stay a weekend. Okay, and the
So if you
last,
look at, if I may, if you look at our mission statement, we talk about construction and then gifting, but then we hope to support the museum once it's gifted over. And we hope to be able to pick up that program if the Army designates and help extend some of the hours
awesome.
and the rental opportunities and different things.
And then will there be in the museum itself, like, you talked about like an auditorium outside, but is there gonna be something inside to bring in speakers and,
Oh, yes.
okay,
125-person auditorium. And let me say this too. One thing that is important, we have the finest architects in the area, period. Maybe the finest in the nation. But we're looking at 800 per square foot average building cost. I mentioned this the last time. And the answer to that price point is that gives us a Smithsonian level facility. 800, now, of course, the docks don't cost that much. Some of our specialty areas will cost more, but the average of 800 a square foot.
okay.
$72 million project.
We also will have a
Answer my
large
question.
classroom,
Answer
training
your
room.
question.
I'm sorry, a large training room that you might call a multi-purpose room, but we have to call it a training room so the government can accept it. And we'll also have smaller training rooms and also conferences, so.
You did it, that's my 4, thank you.
And you answered one of mine, yeah, I knew it was an aggressive amount to raise, and it was an aggressive timeline. How long do you think, Mr. Pettigrew, your feasibility study will take?
The feasibility study may take a few months. We have already talked to, and we're in the process of working with a company to do that for us. So we are trying to do as much as we can without overstepping the bounds. But we want to be prepared because we don't have time for do-overs. We don't have time for corrections. Every step must be a positive step in order for us to make our deadline.
And thank you. And for that 72 million, I know you said you've been spending the last few years raising tens of millions. How close are you to that commitment for the
Very
full?
far, to be honest, very far. But in fairness, we are not in the public phase yet as far as going out. We do have our campaigns are structured. We have companies working on those, so we're ready to pull the trigger. And the feasibility study is one of those tools you know very well,
Has to be first.
that in order for us to be aggressive, we must have. But we're using, I think, the finest company we can get anywhere in the area to take care of our feasibility study. We're working directly with the owner.
Yeah, we're pleased to be able to announce that we're partnering with Kinetic, who I'm sure you're familiar with, and they'll be doing the feasibility. And I think we're fairly safe to say that the first part of the feasibility study, 3 months. So you can expect on us coming back within that time period, or if you'd like more frequent updates, we're happy to do that.
Yes.
Well, we had, the last time you were here, of course, you were toward the end of the meeting, but the people who saw your presentation, I got really good feedback from. And so I'm in support of, I don't have any more questions right now. I'm anxious to see it. I know this is an investment in our future. And I would really support your request.
And Dr. Matt, I appreciate that. Dr. Matt Bean is the president and CEO of Kinetic, and he said he will be personally involved. And it's very interesting. So we're working with the AG Advertising and Marketing, and the president, CEO, and owner, Mitchell, is personally involved. So all the leadership, the different partnering organizations that we're working with, see the importance of this, the relevance, and they're jumping in.
The principals of our architecture team, same folks that are working on the river bridge, what is it? The Rock Island Bridge, thank you.
Oh,
Rock
okay.
Island Bridge, that's multi-studio. The principal is on the team, I mean actively on the team. Same thing with our marketing, same thing with our fundraising. And of course, we have been, our bank, it's down the road on 4th Street. We're happy to say that it's Armed Forces Bank and Academy, both. And I think we've got the best team in the world, and we were conscious of making this team from Kansas. We wanted to put into Kansas, not take from.
Oh, that's cool. And Mr. Kitchens, current reserve fund, what is that set at right now? I know Roberta's not here, but our Visitors Bureau fund.
Numbers?
Yeah.
You got
I
those?
mean, we would be able to fund the
We have enough.
$47,500.
We've added reserves.
There's adequate reserves to do that. Roberta and I have talked a couple of times. Penny's worked with Roberta as well. We're comfortable that we can do that.
Cool. Okay.
Can I interject before you make your final decision? I'm indifferent about your vote, but if you are inclined to fund some or part of the request, I'd also ask that you put a caveat to direct staff, the city manager's office, to enter into an agreement with the foundation so that we have a full understanding of what the $47,500 will do, and then perhaps maybe outline some of those details about how often the reports and then the conclusion, that sort of thing. I think that'd be prudent.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
That's excellent.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you are, but I wanted to ask. You're planning to also talk to all the other museums that are in here in the Leavenworth area?
We have.
The Richard Allen Cultural Center and the the Leavenworth County Historical Society and the other historical societies that are here?
Yes, sir. Last time I was here, I spoke with the president of the Museum Association. We have met with the individuals at the museums. There's nothing about what we're doing that's in competition with anything that exists. I would prefer to see Leavenworth, and this is my soapbox. Instead of being a city of prisons, we'd be a city of museums. And this is the possibility to do so. No one else has that mantle right now, and it belongs to us, and we can take it. But we're not looking to take from, it is an addition to.
Sure.
And we can provide for the record, we have a letter of support from the Leavenworth County Historical Society. I hope I have your title correct.
Good, yes, that's
We
good.
also have a letter of support from Leavenworth County Commission. I think we have that in hand or it's in process, so.
Okay.
That's great.
Commissioner Wilson, any comments or questions?
Mr. George, I'm very, very thankful to see that we came this far. I know that you've been working on this for the past few years, and I'm very, very thankful to see that we come to the finish line. You definitely have my full support. I definitely believe it's going to be a great addition to our community, and I also love the perception of changing it from prison town to a city of museum, where we're actually really honoring our history of this community. So you definitely have my support, and thank you to you and your team for all your hard work as well.
Thank you, sir.
Cool deal. All right, well, if no other questions, I guess one of my questions would be, should we, if we're all in agreement that we want to move forward, we want to go ahead and speak to the agreement first? Would we want to make a motion to?
I think we need to make a motion.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple different ways you could do it. I mean, you could have us bring something back, or you could, as you do with a lot of these, just authorize this as a budget authority item and leave it to the city manager and legal to negotiate the agreement for it. Similar to how you might authorize other expenditures.
Okay, I'm cool with that. You guys?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah. Good.
I move that we authorize staff that we approve this fund of $47,500 coming from the Convention and Visitors Bureau and authorize staff to make those arrangements with the Frontier Museum of the Army, U.S.
United
Army.
States Army Foundation.
Foundation. Yes, sir. Thank you, General.
Second.
Okay, motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
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 Aye?
Aye.
All right, pass 5-0. Thank you very much.
Can
Thank you.
I add just briefly,
Yes.
our council of record is Bateman Legal Group. So
Yes,
We'll be in touch soon.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
It's much better experience this time.
We're always happy to hear from you guys. Thank you.
All right, item 7, employee benefit plan renewal.
Our HR Director, Lana Lanter.
Hey, Lana.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor, Commissioners, presented for your review and approval this evening is a renewal for our employee benefit coverages for medical, dental, and vision for the new plan year beginning December 1, 2024. The policy report does outline where we ended with. I think it is prudent to let you know where we started with our renewal with UHC. The first number with just the flat plugging in the numbers to their formulas came in at 30%. We ended after a couple of different times of negotiations with a 9.9% renewal with no plan design changes. However, we did have one addition, and we went back to the plan we had before. So for diagnostic testing for our labs and x-rays, it had been 0 and covered at 100%. Last year it switched and went to deductible and coinsurance. We are switching that back to 0. So that is a plus in that direction. And again, no extra cost with the 9.9% renewal. That does kind of take into consideration our experience has gotten better over the last year, but if you recall, last year we were over 200% experience usage rating. We are well over 100% in the last 12 months, but United Healthcare looked at how we have averaged out over those 12 months. 2 of those months were significant months, which put us over the 100%, but the other 10 were averaging between the 80 and 90%, so they took that into consideration as well. Delta came in with a 5% renewal. As a reminder, last year was flat, so we had no increase last year, and they are also putting a 2-year rate guarantee, which means next year we will have a flat renewal with no plan design changes. Our vision through United Healthcare also came in with a 5% renewal. Again, no plan design changes and a 3-year rate guarantee, so for the 2 years following that, 0 plan increase with the same plan design for the vision coverage. Basically, we're recommending renewal for all of our current carriers, United Healthcare for the medical and the vision, Delta for our dental coverage, and no plan design changes with the 1 increase in the medical coverage. And all of the plan designs would go into effect December 1, 2024 for our new plan year would require open enrollment meetings. The employees would only have to come through for any changes versus a complete renewal and having them sign up for all coverages. So for anyone wanting to make tier design changes, we will still offer the 3 different levels of coverage for medical. If they want to change that tier level or add or drop dependents, they would come through. Section 125, the pre-tax benefit for the medical insurance premiums would have to be signed off on by everyone. We are setting those meetings up for the weeks of October 7th and 14th for all employees to get through those meetings. The budget impact, obviously, United Healthcare, we budgeted at 5%. We were being optimistic.
That's what I wondered. I was gonna ask.
So we were at 5% is what we budgeted. Roberta, our finance director, did do fiscal comments and provided information on meeting that gap between the 5 and the 9.9%, primarily coming from funding that would be due to shortages, vacancy, turnover, et cetera. And she identified a few other alternatives within the general fund as well that would help fund that difference between that.
Okay.
Dental and vision both came in obviously at the 5%, so that was within the budgeted amount for both of those. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
For next year's, then we probably ought to budget more than 5% increase, right?
Correct. We were hoping, again, optimistic, we were hoping for our experience because United had kind of told us that if our experience got back to our average of around 80%, that we would be looking at a flat renewal. Unfortunately, we didn't end up with our experience at that level.
Okay.
And Lana, just out of curiosity, even though experience was different, previous year and everything, did you notice, since we are speaking insurance, did you notice any tone change with UHC this year over last at all? More of a desire to negotiate with us a little bit more?
Well, I think the fact that we started at 30% and ended at 9.9 without, and they gave us more in our plan design than what we had without having to negotiate our plan design changes, I think that said a lot this year.
So, I mean, good for sure, and just more willing and stuff like that,
Correct.
so.
And again, it didn't take as much going to the table with them. Last year was a much longer renewal process and working and negotiating back and forth to get to the number that we needed last year. So this year was a much easier renewal and they were much more willing to make concessions to get us to where we needed to be.
Yeah, thank you.
30% is ridiculous.
Guys have any questions?
I would tell you, I recently spoke to a former CFO of a different city agency, and I told him, yeah, it looks like we're gonna get it 9.9. He was like, what? 9.9? He said everybody's got 30 and 40% increases. So I would applaud you and your people that did the negotiating. That's great that you were able to get it in so much lower than other people have. Thank you.
Good job.
Yep. Commissioner Wilson, any questions or comments?
No, sir. Thank you for the update, Ms. Lana.
Okay, with that, I don't have any other questions either. Just need a motion.
I move approval of the renewal with the current providers for medical, dental, and vision for the new plan year beginning December 1, 2024, with United Healthcare for medical and vision coverage and Delta Dental for dental coverage.
Second.
Okay, motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to bids, contracts, and agreements. Item 8, consider award of bid for Fire Station Number 2 HVAC replacement project.
Commissioner Captain Maher from Fire Station Number 2.
Good evening, Captain.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This evening, I am bringing to you a request for approval to move forward with HVAC replacement Station 2. Fire Station 2 is over 20 years old and is currently utilizing the original air conditioning system. This system is comprised of 3 units similar to residential style units. And over the last several years, the repairs have become more frequent and costly, and the system has reached the end of its projected useful life, and we are currently down 1 AC unit. The new HVAC system will utilize more efficient equipment and be easier and more cost-effective to maintain. The city published an RFP on July 17th for the HVAC system replacement project with a due date of August 6th. We received 2 bids for the project, and our staff recommends the base bid from Rand Construction Company in the amount of $48,646. The city's 2024 CIP includes $59,650 for the HVAC replacement, Fire Station 2. And then I also did want to clarify, this is separate from the HVAC bid that was recently discussed for Station 1, which is a commercial style system, is more costly as well. That system replacement will be going out for bid again, I believe sometime next month.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
No, no. I'm glad we're under budget.
Okay.
So there wasn't much difference between the first and second one?
No.
That was a few $100s.
Would we rather go with the Kansas company over a Missouri company? Just wondering.
So the city's policy, they have to be within a certain percentage.
Okay. Oh, so that's okay.
Right, so.
Just trying to keep it in Kansas.
Ed, got any questions?
No, this looks like something that, it needs to be done. To me, 23 years old, man.
Yeah.
That seems like it's well overdue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in
for sure.
budget, so that's good.
Commissioner Wilson?
No, sir, no comment.
All right. Don't either on this side, so with that, we just need a motion.
Before
Go
we
ahead.
do that, did Rand give you an idea of when they'd be able to complete this?
I was not made aware of when, I believe the chief was dealing with that, and I will give that information. But
I'm thinking it'll probably get done just in time for winter.
yeah,
Right. But,
at least it's cooling down a little bit now, so.
sure.
I'll make the motion to, for the bid from Rand Construction Company in the amount of $48,646.
Second.
All right, motion moved seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passed 5-0. Thanks, Captain.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, item 9, consider acceptance of land donation 110 North 10th Street.
Our Assistant City Manager Penny Holler will handle this item, sir.
Thank you. Good evening.
Mayor and Commission, the item you have before you tonight for your consideration is to accept donation of 2 vacant lots, both at 110 North 10th Street. So a little bit of background, which is included in your policy report. The owners of the 2 vacant lots reached out to the city with an offer to transfer ownership at no cost. The lots are adjacent to a city-owned lot. It's across from Fire Station 2 off of Shawnee. The lots were nearly unbuildable. One of the lots goes directly over the creek, as you can see from the map. So selling to a private party was going to be unlikely. City ownership of the lots would allow for future stormwater projects to be conducted there and eliminate any access or other issues with private ownership. From time to time, the city does receive offers to donate property. Staff reviews those requests to see if there's any city purpose for accepting a donation. We look to see if there's a value to the city. Could this be a future park? Is there something that city operations could benefit from, a future expansion area? If there's no city purpose identified, or if it'll cost the city money for a cleanup or maintenance, it may not be a good fit for a donation. With these proposed lots, Public Works have been working with the state of Kansas and an engineering firm on a study of the watershed, and this might be an option for a detention basin in the future. There's nothing currently planned or on the budget, but with the city picking up these properties, that would allow for that option in the future. Did want to note that the report includes that there are delinquent property taxes that are due. What we found from the records, it looks like it's the amount of $27.27. Staff believes this is an acceptable amount to obtain these lots. So the staff recommends that we should accept the donation of the 2 vacant lots at 110 North 10th Street and approve the mayor or staff to sign the documents transferring that ownership.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Just out of curiosity, 920 right there? Is that just a private ownership? Walk by it all the time.
Oh, the city owns that
Okay,
property. That's a
okay,
vacant lot.
Gotcha,
Mhm.
okay. Cool. Any questions? I drive by it all the time, I guess. Okay, then with that, we just need a motion.
I move we accept the city accept the donation of 2 vacant lots at 110 North 10th Street and approve the mayor and/or staff to sign documents transferring ownership to the city.
Second.
All right, motion's been seconded. We'll begin with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, pass 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to first consideration ordinances, item 10, to adopt standard traffic ordinance 51st edition.
Mr. Mayor, Commission, the interim police chief, Dan Nicodemus, will handle the next two items.
Good evening, Mayor Martin and Commission. The Police Department is before you tonight with a request to place on first consideration the adoption of the new version of the Standard Traffic Ordinance, 51st edition. Every year, the League of Kansas Municipalities publishes a new book with all of the ordinances used by the city for traffic enforcement. The book usually includes some updates. This year, the updates were minimal. The city's used this book for a long, long time, probably as long as I've been here and longer. It's really a housekeeping item to be able to pass this and incorporate it as a city ordinance so that we can use that for enforcement. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about the ordinance.
Thank you.
No questions.
Questions?
No. I'm good.
Commissioner Wilson?
No comment.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. The vote?
Oh, no,
Hello?
we're good.
Any
We're just-
questions?
Any questions right now? Yep.
No, sir.
Okay. And what major impact are we going to see, just out of curiosity, like the change that's going to happen is going to be?
Really, there's no changes in the standard traffic ordinance this year, other than some guidance to the prosecutor on prosecutorial considerations and penalties.
Okay, I appreciate that. Well, they're doing it for a reason, so, yep. Okay.
Probably the
Any
lowest
questions?
number of changes I've seen in a number of years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we just need a consensus. We all good?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, cool deal. Then, okay, we'll move on to item 11, first consideration ordinance to adopt Uniform Public Offense Code 40th edition.
Similar to the previous item, this is an annual update of the Uniform Public Offense Code, also published by the League of Kansas Municipalities. Again, it incorporates any updates or changes made to the previous version so that we can enforce them properly. Really, again, like the STO, very few updates to the ordinance, so I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about it.
I'll just give you an example as one of the changes you'll see was disorderly conduct. That arose from a Kansas Supreme Court case out of Wichita that had the elements of disorderly conduct that involved noisy conduct was being unconstitutionally vague. And so that part of the statute on which these are based was struck down. So therefore, the statute was struck down. You kind of have to do these updates. So that's an example where some of these changes come from.
How about an example on that second one right there? Mr. Waters, do you have the unlawful possession of marijuana?
I don't know I do not know the basis for that one.
Okay.
I'm afraid not.
That's all right, that's all right.
I mean, that could have been just a result of the Kansas legislature could have passed a new law. And when the Kansas legislature passes new laws, then those get updated into the UPOC every year as well.
Okay. Okay, I have no other questions on this side.
No questions.
Okay, then just need a consensus. We all good?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Staff report, Camp Leavenworth update.
Mayor and Commission, normally we would do this at a study session, and we have our Camp Leavenworth t-shirts on. Due to schedules this year, this will be the staff update.
That's all right.
So Camp Leavenworth is happening September 20th and 21st this year. It is Friday night from 4 to 9. It is Saturday from 11 to 9 with a 5K run at 10 o'clock. You've probably seen on social media, Jim Ruby will be joining for the 5K run again this year. He just aged out of the 80
so
to 89 category, and there may be a special presentation for him there.
I wish I could be here to see that. He's a very cool guy.
Looks like it's going to be great weather, so that will be much appreciated and a good event. The entrance, again, is on Choctaw. I don't have this up, but it's on Choctaw. There's plenty of free parking. We always say that in Leavenworth. Where can you park? Anywhere there's public parking, and there's plenty of it, so come on down to Camp Leavenworth. As an update on information, the yard signs you should have seen around town, those have already gone up. Flyers are out, posters are going out. We have the 5K door hangers that will go along the route, letting folks know of the road closure for the 5K. So a lot of information going out right now. There'll be some great music at the main stage, the Camp's Got Talent Showcase, and the Silent Disco. And again, the Silent Disco this year does include the Glow Party portion of that. We have 21 local vendors, so the local makers section will be full and bustling this year, in addition to 5 other vendors, so plenty of browsing for those that like to shop and get some unique items. The fun activities, tree climbing is back this year, Camp Crafty, inflatables, yard games, food and beverages. The beverages, again, are coming from Ross's Liquor in town, and there's craft beer from Wilcott Brewing that will be available. Recommend folks stop by the beer tent that will be supported by the Fort Leavenworth Spouses Club. Friday night at 6 p.m. They'll be joined by the 35th Infantry Division Commanding General John Rieger. He'll be a celebrity guest there, out of uniform and in the community, there to welcome all military affiliated and others to Camp Leavenworth. And I will say, as I say every time I do this, we would love volunteers. Those who are interested to come and work the s'mores bar, work the silent disco, hand out headphones, be at the gate and welcome people and help us record the attendance numbers. We'd love to have you sign up. That's campleavenworth.com. That's also where you can find updated information on local vendors, food participants, and the other activities that will be there. So we look forward to seeing everyone at Camp Leavenworth. Thank you. If there's any questions.
Where are these mini flyers? Where are they hanging out? So people can pick them up?
Hopefully everywhere. I have some in my office. The CVB is handing them out. I think Main Street has copies. We partner with Main Street on the festival. So if you need some, I can provide you with some.
Well,
hopefully you're seeing them around town.
I was wondering if there were any in stores, retail places.
We're working on that. So we try to get out, especially in the downtown, and provide the flyers and the posters, but it's in progress. And then there will be another poster that comes out. I'm sure you probably are aware that the Main Street app that they have put together with a map of downtown businesses will be debuted at Camp Leavenworth. So we're excited about that. And I think their poster might be going out in advance and might include that as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, how many folks so far have signed up for the 5K? I thought it was 75 last time I heard, but.
That was the last update that I heard. We know from Christine Freitchen, the run organizer, that the last couple weeks are crucial. Everyone watches the weather, so we're now getting very optimistic about our attendance. We had 200 some last year. We're hoping for more this year. Christine's ambitious, and she says about 500 would be our goal. So we will see if with good weather and lots of outreach, we get those numbers.
Well, last year it was rainy, drizzly.
We had to delay the run due to lightning strikes, so hopefully this year is smooth sailing.
Good weather this year. Good.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with that, we will move to the consent agenda.
Oh. I move that we approve claims for August 23rd, 2024 through September 5th, 2024 in the amount of $5,830,189.34. Net amount for payroll number 17, effective August 23rd, 2024 in the amount of $419,000 and, $419,696.84. It includes police and fire pension in the amount of $7,491.38.
Second.
Okay, motion's been seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passed 5-0. Before we move along to our final item, which is our executive session for tonight, I'd like to go around the horn. Got any comments?
Mr. Mayor and Commission, next week's study session has been canceled. There was a couple of schedule conflicts, one of which had to do with paternity leave, and so there weren't any items to be dispersed. So there will be no meeting next week. Other than that, I'm good.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to steal everybody's thunder. This morning, we had a great event over on the corner of, what is it? Limit and Shrine Park Road. And, we opened up, the mayor and a few other folks helped cut the red ribbon to open up our pickleball courts. And they were immediately put to great use. People were all over the place playing pickleball. It looked great, looked like everybody's gonna have a great amount of fun. The pickleball courts themselves look really, really good. I was very impressed, and I was very impressed with the big number of people we have. So if you weren't there this morning, I encourage you to get out there, look at the new pickleball courts at Buffalo Bill Cody Park, and get in there and learn how to play pickleball and have fun. Thank you.
Me? I just want to make a correction that kind of bothered me last week in the Leavenworth Times. They said that only 3 of us were there for the interviews for the city manager. I just want to say 4 of us were there, and then Jermaine actually called in. So I just had a couple people question why only 3 of us were there when it's such an important topic, but we were there. So just want to correct that. And that's all I have. Pickleball was great, and I'm so excited to get out there myself. The Parks and Rec staff did an amazing job, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Nancy?
Oh, I wanted to add that to the pickleball thing that I didn't say this morning, and but pickleball has been around Leavenworth for probably about 20 years now, and our beloved Dr. Ron Kenton just recently passed away, and he was the one that brought pickleball to Leavenworth, and he introduced it, and he was so excited about it, and he got several people involved, and then he got the Lions Club involved, and then the Lions Club got other people involved, and it just grew and grew, and like they keep saying, it is the fastest growing sport, and Steve Grant brought that up. The Parks and Recreation did a great job with the contractors, and it's going to be a really nice event, or a really nice place for people to get out and get fresh air and enjoy themselves, so. Just a kudos to everybody.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Wilson?
Just want to say God bless and have a great week. And I'm claiming to be the pickleball court champion for Leavenworth. So I'll be out there this weekend if anybody want to play me one-on-one.
You got a lot of competition, Jermaine.
I know, right? Yeah, you have a great week and God bless.
Thank you. All right, definitely appreciate everybody that came out this morning for the ribbon cutting. And don't have anything further to add other than I hope everybody has a great week ahead. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to move the City Commission recess into executive session for a period of 15 minutes for the purpose of discussion of a personal matter under the justification to discuss personal matters of non-elected personnel, KSA 75-4319B1. The City Commission and Human Resources Director will be present, and along with acting city manager, Mr. Kitchens. The open meeting will resume in the City Commission chambers at 7:18 p.m. Begin voting with Commissioner Bowser.
Aye.
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 We're back in session, and from here, we just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.